Hello and welcome to In Business Talks 2. We're excited to welcome you to our bonus episode, The Friday Fix. We are your hosts, Tracy and Ian Earle, founders of In Business, a networking and business support community. And together, we are In Business.
Every Friday, we will be discussing a business-related subject with either one of our wonderful In Business networking members or a fellow business owner who will be sharing their advice, thoughts or knowledge on a particular topic. Oh, and make sure you listen to the end of the show to hear our guests tell us about their favourite networking tip.
This week's episode is about creating a manageable plan for your social media with Lisa East of The Thinking Cap. Okay, so welcome to our Friday Fix today. We have Lisa East with us of The Thinking Cap. So hello, Lisa.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Lisa. Good to have you with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's get started then. So what? Basically, tell us a bit about what you do before we start, Lisa. What is it that you do?
Yeah, I'm the owner of The Thinking Cap, which is a social media agency. When I started the company, I did a full range of marketing services from offline to online. And then I branched into social media in the last year and a half. So I was always doing social media as part of the mix. However, since COVID came along, I just decided to niche just into social media. So the kind of things that I look at are managing social media platforms and content and posts for people who don't want to do it. So that's the management side. And I train people who want to do it themselves but don't know exactly how to do it. So whether it's how to collect the content, how to get the plans, how to do it to get the best out of the algorithms on the platforms, or some people might have all of that sorted but just want to do adverts on social media. So I look at the adverts for people, whether they're selling a service, a product, just want to get some more likes and they want to do an awareness campaign. So anything like that is what I do.
Cool.
Okay.
Excellent.
Because it is a bit of a minefield, as social media, isn't it? And I think people struggle to know what to put on and when, don't they? So
Yeah.
have you got some tips for us today
Definitely.
based around that, Lisa?
Yeah, it's not a natural thing for people to talk about themselves and the business. A lot of people put a website up and expect everybody to just go to it, and then from reading the page, web pages or all the web pages and blogs, that they know everything about the services. But a lot of websites are static. Yes, the blog may change time from, every time they upload a blog. However, everything else is normally pretty static unless they change a picture or some member of staff leaves and they update the Meet the Team page. Nothing really alters. And a lot of people go straight to the social media platforms to find out about the company, whether they're in the buying cycle and they want to buy and find out more, whether they're looking to work there and they want to find out the company ethics and what's the culture like, right down to the maybe wanting to be a supplier. So there's lots of different reasons why people look at people's social media platforms, whether it's a buying or a working relationship. And it's just a matter of being out there on a regular basis, so you're front of mind for everybody's reasoning.
Is that sort of one of the secrets, do you think, then, just before you go into it in a bit more depth, is one of the secrets about planning and preparing for this thing and knowing in advance what you're going to do? Is that one of the...
It is. Yeah. I mean, I've got a post out at the moment and it's just 4 tips on how to get your social media plan started, and that's all ahead of time. So that's getting prepared. And I know a lot of people don't put time for themselves in their own business. Some people do, some people don't. The busy, the time poor, and the social media is the last thing on the to-do list. But it's always in the back of the mind that, the competitors are doing it. They're getting better engagement. Why can't I just be as natural on it? But it's not just a matter of just doing it on a whim, when they've got 5 minutes. Yes, it's always good to leave a bit of contingency to put something in case there's something that pops up in the news or something topical's happening, to jump on that and to post it there and then. So you're doing something that's trending on those platforms. However, you can't always plan to be on the trending, because you never know what's going to be coming up. But you do within your own business. You know what's coming up within your own business that you want to promote. And that's where you start with the planning.
So what would you suggest what was in this post that you wrote?
Yeah. So the first thing of the 4 tips is to review your analytics. Basically, you need to look at what's worked previously. So if you've had somebody who's been doing your socials, or social media manager has been doing your posts for you, or you've been doing it yourself, and you can kind of get a feel for your audience as to whether they like text only, or they get switched on more by watching a video or a reel on Instagram. You will get a feel for, it might be the type of post, like I've just explained, an animation, a video, an image, or it might be that they are only watching stories, which will
Right.
be the vertical phone types on
Yeah.
mobile only, because your audience is all mobile. Or it might be nothing to do with the type of post, it might be the content. So they're only interested in things that are a bit fun or behind the scenes, so the more social element. Or it might be just around one certain product that you are talking about passionately, and it might be more product based. But whatever it is, you need to kind of analyse what's worked previously. If you haven't been on your socials for a while and you haven't got any analytics, then you need to just start planning, miss that section out, and do the other 3 stages until you've got a little bit of analytics behind you to see what does work, and then start building tip 1 into that.
Right.
Um,
And are analytics easy to, I mean, there's some good stuff in there, but how easy are analytics? I mean, you say you can, I don't know, spot that if you've put a video out there that's had a good reaction, or a
yeah.
post. Is that quite easy to tell, or do you have to know what dates you've put something out there to think, oh, that was a video I put out there, that was a post, whatever it was? Is that how you do it?
Yeah,
I'm a
well,
novice. Can you tell?
yeah, well, on things like Hootsuite, if you schedule all your posts through Hootsuite, platforms like that have analytics built in for all the platforms together. However, I'm not a massive believer of doing things on platforms, scheduling platforms, because it affects your reach.
I
So
think it does, yeah.
LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram don't like it if you use a third party as much. Yes, it gets out there, and they're all really good tools if you're busy and you're doing other things, and you can't put them in and post in real time. But it does affect your reach. Facebook doesn't give you as many people to view your post if you do it through that third party. So, but when you do it through the platforms directly, each one has their own analytics, or insights, they call it. But they all give you analytics for a back period, and sometimes they all differ from each other. So, just for example, LinkedIn personally is hard if you're posting as a person, because you have to look at each individual post in your activity
Mm.
section, and you've got to scroll down. And if you've done a lot in a month, it takes a while to work out what worked. However, Facebook does either the last 7 days or the last 28 days.
And also on LinkedIn, you don't see the time of day you posted, do you?
It does list it when you go through into your activity in your profile. It does show you that later on.
Oh,
Um,
right.
and
Ah.
when you post as a LinkedIn company page, you've got more insights. You can have every 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, 12 weeks, 6 months, 12 months. So there's loads of activity insights that you can check on the business page, but not personal. And then Instagram's different from Facebook, which you'd think would be the same. It's every last 7 days or the last 30 days. So, and Twitter is lovely because it just gives you the whole thing of the month. This is what happened in May. This is what happened in April. And it's the full month in its entirety. And if I was to log into Twitter now, it'd give me, if I logged in and looked at May, I know because I'm looking at it on the 13th of May, then it's just for days 1 to 13. But if I need to give a weekly analytical report to a customer, that's a bit of a nightmare on Twitter, because it doesn't go back for the last 7 days. I've got to just say, well, up to now, this month, it's been this. And I know the previous 7 days was that. So if I take that away, that's roughly what this 7 days is. So if you're B2B and you're on LinkedIn and Twitter, I would do it every month, because you can then do like for like on platforms. Twitter's for the full month, and you can do LinkedIn business for the full 30 days. And personally, you could go back and check your last 30 days of posts.
Right.
And if you're on Facebook and Instagram, you're more B2C, then I'd just do the full. I'd either do it every 7 days, because things happen that quickly on those platforms, and then you've got the last 7 days to compare on both. And some people will find that they haven't got time to do it weekly, so they'll just do the full month. But it just depends. You don't want to waste part of June analysing all your posts from May, because then you've lost half of June then.
Yeah, you've lost most of the
So it
pointless,
depends on how forward thinking you are and how much notice you want to give yourself to do the creation of the post, really.
Okay.
Right.
And after you've done the analytics, what's the best step after that?
Yeah, so once you know what works, i.e. The platform, if you're on more than one, the medium, like video or post, or content, if it's a particular subject that's attracted people more, you then need to make a plan. So you need to look at what you want to achieve in the business the next month. So, have you got a masterclass that you want to get people signed up for? Have you got a white paper that is something to get people into the funnel? What is it that you've got going on in the business that you need to make people aware of? It might be an event online, it might be a new product that's coming up. So it doesn't have to be anything that you need to sign up to. It can just be, what do you want to achieve? Have you got something new to tell people about? And you could list, well, you've got a new starter starting, you're opening the offices, your sales guys are now off furlough, so you now need to get them out there, and you might want to have, get some tips out there on how to do something within your industry more proficiently, which will help people who their audience is. So then basically when you have that sorted, you then need to list down the side of each one what call to action you want to do. So yes, you've got the sales guys that are coming off furlough, so you can tag them in and try and announce them to get them back out there. If you've got an event, so for example, like a masterclass, you could put the registration page link on there. If you've got a tip sheet, you could either you need a PDF for the tip sheet, or you can have a download, whichever. If you want to give it away without collecting email addresses, do a PDF. If you want to do so you need to list the goals that you want to achieve and the call to actions that you're going to help achieve those actions. And then you move on to the tip 3 or step 3, which is creating a content calendar. So now you've got your list of what you know works from your analytics. You've got your list of your business goals that you want to promote and achieve. And then what you need to do is you need to then, with your call to actions you need to start writing the content and prioritising it in date order. So you need to write the text that goes with the posts. We're pleased to say all our staff now are back full time, and you can tag them in and you can mention them. And do you need a picture with that? Okay, you might need a picture of those salespeople. So you need to make a list, picture of sales team to go with post 1. And then it might be, right, okay, we're going to do a tip sheet on whatever it is. So if it was me, content, or this particular thing, creating a plan. Okay, so I need to create the PDF to do the plan. So I can write the text to go with the post. And then I need to write the list to say I need to create the PDF of the tips. And you just carry on through the month or through the week if you're going to do them in advance for the week. So you've got all your copy written for the posts, but then what you need to do is to actually create the imagery, or it might be a video of the sales team that are coming back. Whatever you decide, if you know video works better, you can look down, well, I know when I want to achieve this month and I'm going to mention the sales team, why don't I do a video of them? getting out the cars, walking in from the car park. You know, they've all got beards, even the women. Whatever it is. Or it could be the sales meeting, a video of the sales meeting with everybody around a desk, either with masks on or the windows open, or something to show like a behind the scenes, but it's also getting the news out there. It could be quite humorous. Whatever it is, do it in the medium that worked previously, or do it in different mediums. So if you've got no analytics to work from, to see which might work best. So basically, when you get to the end of tip 3, you have the list of what worked, whether it was content or post type. What do you want to achieve in this next week, fortnight, month, whatever it is, and list it. And then you've started writing the content to go with those posts. And then you've got your list of what you need to go with them. So you're nearly halfway there already. And it might be, if you've got one bit of news like sales team returning after furlough, that could be 4 or 5 posts. It could be a blog, and it could be from one of the sales guys' perspectives. It could be, right, you're the sales director, you write a blog about your team, how you've communicated with them over, you know, COVID, how some of them have reintroduced themselves into the business, and who's back and what do they all do. You write that for me. You go away and do that. And in the meantime, I'm going to get a video of them all returning, and we need a header image for the blog. And when the blog's written, you could take 5 or 6 snippets of little paragraphs. That could be 5 or 6 posts. So it doesn't mean to say one bit of news can be just one post, and you've got another 30 to find if you're going to do, you know, or another 29 to find if you're doing one a day. You just repurpose things, and you make your own life a bit easier.
Right.
Sounds a lot
Sounds
simpler.
easy when you say that.
Yeah, it does.
Because I'm awful.
It's just breaking it down.
Yeah, I plan nothing. I stick a post out there when I feel a post in me. You're a bit more organised than me, you know. And it always seems a chore. And maybe that's why it's a chore, because I don't plan ahead. I just think, I'll just write about this, and then you got to think about it. So it's just, it's not the way to do it, is it? Really?
No. And then you've got it all in your armoury, haven't you? And then when you come, you know, a week on Tuesday, you think, that post is going out that day. Copy and paste it, bang it in the image, and job's done in about 2 minutes, isn't it?
And you'll find the more you do, the easier it'll get. You'll find when you do posts that engage with people, they'll mention something, you'll think, that's another post in that. Whatever they've mentioned, could think, well, actually, the reply I'm replying to that question could be something for next month. So you get your pad out for next month and scribble it down before you forget it. And it's ongoing. You could be walking the dog, you know, having a shower, and things just come to you straight away as to, gosh, why hadn't I thought about this? Or something could be eating away at you because somebody else has mentioned something, and it's like, I wish I'd have done something like that. But you've got a different angle on it. So you could write about your experience of something like that. But it's trying all the different mediums on the platforms that work for you, because the algorithms like it if you mix it up. If you just do text all the time, boring, the algorithm kind of just expects it and doesn't give you any more reach. If you did a story on your mobile one day, and you did like a short animation, or you did just a post with a picture or a scrolly PDF, and you mix it up, you get more reach. People notice it as well. So it's just getting a happy balance, really.
Right.
And the other thing that I just want to mention that a lot of people forget is that you need to have, even though you're thinking, what works, what do I want to say, I've got to write it, you need a healthy mix of 3 things, really. And that's growth content, nurture content, and money content. And what I mean by those 3 things is, growth content can bring people in who are cold contacts. So you grow in your audience. So it's, what can you post about that is going to encourage people who don't even know you to start following you and to start engaging? What problem solving tips or tricks can you put out there that will relate to somebody who doesn't even know you? And think about that. And the nurture content is to get to know more about you. What's your backstory? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why does somebody need you in their work life? Like you said, Ian, you post as and when, and it's a chore. Loads of people think like that, and it's a guilt thing. It's a bit like a dog, nudging the lead every 2 minutes. I want to go out. You haven't got time. The guilt's there that you haven't got them out, and it's like the platforms are there, and you've not posted, and it's a guilt thing.
Yeah.
And I take that guilt away from people by posting on their behalf. So, and the nurture ones are all about, why do people need you in their feed, in their life? Tell them something that's gonna make them want to keep following you and keep reading your stuff. And then the money one's all about selling. So you're there for a purpose. You need to sell your services and your products. And you need to get the balance right. You don't have all of them doing that, because it switches people off and they'll unfollow you, or they just won't engage.
Right.
So it's getting the balance between all those three types of products.
What would you say the ratio is?
I would say 20% selling and 40 each of the others. So it's 80-20 really. You don't want to be doing any more selling. I mean, what you can do, and there's another way of selling without literally selling, is you can be mentioning what you're selling in blogs. I mean, I do 2 classes a month. One's a free masterclass all about content and how to collate it. And I mention that in quite a few of my blogs. But when I'm mentioning my blogs in my posts, I don't mention the selling side. I mention why reading the blog is going to be beneficial for them, because it's all about helping them with the posting and the content and thinking of what they're going to do. And
Good idea, yeah.
That they can do. But then at the end of the blog, it's, well, if you're struggling with this, you can always jump on my free masterclass. It's every month, and here's the link.
Yeah.
So I'm not directly ramming it down people's throats in every post. I'm giving them lots of tips and information, and then I'm embedding it into the blogs and bits and pieces like that.
I think you need to go on the masterclass.
Yeah, I think I might have to book myself down for the mastermind course.
Can we book him in?
Can I book in?
Send you the link. But yeah, that's the first Thursday normally of every month. And then 2 weeks after that, because I go, and I know you use it, don't you? Canva, the creative platform. 2 weeks after the masterclass, I do a course on Canva design, because a lot of people work on their own. They don't have a designer to hand, and the struggle getting their imagery together. It's okay posting something, but if an image is what's going to stop the scroll and make somebody read it, and they haven't got that element within the business, then they'll probably find the fighting a losing battle every time they post, because it's not going to get noticed. So I show people how to create their own images themselves really easily in Canva. Which brings me to tip 4.
Right, tip 4, yeah, go on. You've saved the best for last. Tip 4.
Tip 4 is actually creating everything that was on your list. So you need a blog for the sales team, you need an image or a video, and that's batching your content. So that's you having half a day out of the business, or a couple of hours one evening, or a Sunday, get the kids out, something, and you basically sit and your focus is there, and you just create all the things on the list in date order. So if you run out of time, you've got the first week's done, and you can just go back to week 2 when you've got time. But normally when you're focused and you switch the phone off and you don't have your email pinging every 2 minutes, you can get quite a lot done. My time is between 7:30 in the morning and 9:30 in the morning. I do 2 hours a day of batching my own content or customers' content. As soon as my son walks out to go to school, that's it. I'm focused, got coffee, and that's my 2 hours. And I feel like I've achieved loads, and then it's only 9:30 in the morning. But I've not got the commute, you see. That's handy for me. I'm working from home, so I'm using that time that I would normally spend commuting doing that.
Yeah, and it does feel good, doesn't it, when you've batched a load of posts and things together? You think, oh, great, you've got it all ready to go.
It takes the pressure off as well, doesn't it? Of having to think of something. If you've got it in advance, you're not, I really should be putting something out today, but I don't know what to put. If you've got it all planned out and it's listed and you know exactly what you're going to put out in advance, you go, there you go, it's that today, kaboom. Yeah.
And the other thing is as well, I don't know if you've heard of Trello, getting a Trello board. So what I do for every customer and for myself is when I've created a week's worth of content on a Friday when I've done it. That's what I normally do, is because I don't put it into Hootsuite and schedule it. I do it, I just drop it into Word. I put week commencing the Monday's date, my content, and I just drop Monday to Sunday posts and photos in, and I just have it there. So when I'm on a morning and I'm thinking of other things, I just go to Monday post, Tuesday post, and all the hashtags. And on a Friday or a Sunday, depending if I'm doing it over the weekend, I grab everything and I put it into my Trello board, because then you can reuse that post in 3 months' time, 2 months' time, 3 weeks' time. Nobody who has seen a post will think, hang on a minute, what's she doing? I'm sure she posted that text with a different image 3 weeks ago.
Nobody will remember, will they?
No. So when you're batching your content, if you're struggling, but you know there's a topic or a service or a product you want to post about, first things first, go to your Trello board, and you can have your columns in your services or your products or your topics or your behind the scenes, whatever it is, and you go to those images. And if you're struggling for something, you could do a throwback Thursday and grab an old behind the scenes picture of someone and just say, oh, remember when we were all in the office. And but it's, Trello is like a massive filing pin board, and you can attach your images, and you can put articles in there. I've got loads of articles that I might write a blog similar to, and I've got a reading list card or column in Trello, which is just a pure reading list. So when I've got time, it might have been an article that I saw 3 years ago, 2 years ago, but it's in there because it started some inspiration from somewhere, and I know I'm never going to have all my browser open, so I just drop them into Trello. If I'm struggling for anything, that is one of the places that I go to.
Some brilliant ideas there, Lisa. Thank you very much for sharing those with us.
Yeah, I'm sure people will find that very useful. Yeah.
I'll be looking out for your post, Ian, after this.
Oh, yeah.
Don't hold your breath, Lisa. Yeah. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, they're like hen's teeth. Yeah. If people do want to get in touch with them, Lisa, what's the best way? How do they do that?
Yeah, well, I am on all the platforms. I'm on LinkedIn under the company, which is The Thinking Cap. I'm Lisa East, so I've got personal profile. Website is thethinkingcap.co.uk. There's lots of blogs and topical things. I've got a training page if anybody does want to go on the free masterclass. I'm just trying to think. The next one is on the 3rd of June. I don't know when this is going out, but then the next one after that's the 1st of July. So there's lots of that gives you lots of tips on how to start thinking about your content. Like the daily hashtags. Get at least one of the tips is I do a Wisdom Wednesday. You could do a Tip Tuesday or a Social Saturday, depending on what your business is and your industry. And that kind of takes one post away a week. Because if you do a Tip Tuesday every Tuesday, all you've got to do is think of 4 tips a month. So we go through things like that on the masterclass, and you come away with loads of ideas. And then by the time you've saturated all your old blogs and you've gone through your content, you're kind of then ready to go to start doing fresh, new content. But you've got into the habit of doing it and knowing where to find it and how to do it and how to be interesting with it. So that's a great place to start, because once you get into my funnel of coming on the masterclass, you can then go into my closed Facebook group where I drop loads of tips in on a regular basis. If you thought of doing this is how you do that, little videos to keep you inspired as you're going along your content journey. The blogs are always a good resource if you need any.
You make it sound so simple.
Yeah, you make it sound easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I do it for
in fact, you've inspired me to go and revisit my plan.
Yeah, and me actually. I didn't have one. Yeah, me too, Lisa. Yeah. Thank you for that. No, it's been really good. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Now, we always ask our visitors if they have a networking tip to share with our listeners. I know we again put you on. We do this quite often.
We forget, and then we ask people as soon as they arrive, have you got a tip? Oh, no. Right.
Have you got a networking tip to share with our listeners?
Well, I have. And it's, you won't be surprised by this, but for me, when I've gone on any networking, I always connect with them on LinkedIn afterwards. Now, a lot of people will do that anyway. It's not anything new. I used to do in the good old days, 10 years ago, when I used to do text marketing. What I used to do was I used to write down everybody's mobile numbers from the business cards, or find them, get connected on LinkedIn, get the mobile numbers, and I used to send them a text a few days after, just to say how nice it was to have met them, and here's a link to my website, and can we book a one-to-one in and a coffee. So I used to do that through the text messaging software.
Yeah.
That I don't do that anymore. I just do the social media side now, but that was one way of me telling people the power of text marketing, because everybody reads every text, don't they? So
Yeah.
but yeah, connecting with people on LinkedIn, because it's, it's nice and warm and friendly, and then people just keep in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we'll also put the link to that post you did on LinkedIn in the show notes, so that people can actually physically see what you are talking about today.
That's great.
And I think that'll make it even clearer.
Yeah.
And instead of me just giving you the images to drop in, I'll give you the LinkedIn article post link. And then if people then want to connect with me, then my LinkedIn's there as well. They can then see it from me and connect with me.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That'd be
That'd be
great.
good.
Great. Lovely.
Thank you very much, Lisa. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and lots of information there this morning. I think
very useful information.
Yeah, inspirational for you.
Watch
And for me,
this
Lisa.
space,
And for me,
Lisa,
I'm going to be like a social media demon from now on. You just wait. Yeah.
I'll expect to see you on the masterclass, then, and I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
I think we should
book on. Yeah, I think we should book on. Definitely. I think I need it.
Definitely.
Great.
Lovely chatting with you.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Nice to meet you. Thanks again, Lisa.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. We're almost at the end of this week's show, but before we go, we are excited to tell you about our In Business Talks 2 episode this coming Tuesday. Our special guests on Tuesday's podcast are Jeanette and Simon Town of Roots of Yggdrasil CIC. We're really looking forward to speaking to this mother and son partnership and digging deeper into their experiences as a business couple.
Thank you so much for joining us on this week's In Business Talks 2 Friday Fix. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, all that we ask is that you simply tell a friend about the show. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, this is Tracy and Ian,
and together we are In Business.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.